Hello, friends. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm so glad that you're here today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. Okay, today I'm going to cover some kitchen essentials, and we're going to focus today on seasonings. And I'm going to share with you, in my opinion and experience, what you must have, and then a few things that would be nice to have. But if you have all these things, you should be able to season almost any of your food beautifully. Now, I'm not on the sweet baking side today, so I'm not going to address sugar, brown sugar, flours, all of that. We're talking about if you have some meat or produce that you get and you need to cook it, talking about that kind of seasoning. So we are going to start with the basics, and these are in my marble. Because I use these so often, and I recommend this to everyone who cooks. Get a big salt cellar and get a big pepper jar, mill, whatever, where you can easily just get what you need. You don't have to open anything. You don't have to twist anything. So I will give you a little tip, guys. These are both marble. I got them at Home Goods, but I've linked to very similar ones that are really about the same price range on my blog, because a lot of people aren't near Home Goods. But if you will go in the section with cooking gadgets and so forth, and if you see a mortar and pestle, it's like, this is the mortar that you put fresh spices in, and then the little stem that's made out of marble that you squish or you press on your spices or herbs to release the flavor. Use this as your salt cellar. I discarded the pestle because I didn't have any use for it. Then you can do the same thing with your pepper. So salt and pepper. Every piece of produce and every piece of meat that I ever cook, I use salt and pepper. Now, clarification, I never buy table salt. Table salt is not suitable for cooking. It's not what you want. You want to get kosher salt. Now, there are two brands that seasoned cooks always turn to, and it's either Morton kosher salt or Diamond. I use Morton, but Diamond is equally good. There's just a little bit of difference in the size of the crystals, but they're both excellent. And then I always choose, if you can see, coarse or medium ground black pepper. Reach for these all the time so they stay out on my counter. Now, I can never, ever, ever be without, and my avocado oil is sitting right over there, but if I had to choose one oil for seasoning, it would be my extra virgin olive oil. And guys, I'm just going to share with you, I just started buying this Kosterina original extra virgin olive oil because Dr. Peter Attia, who wrote Outlive, and he's a surgeon, I believe, but he talks about longevity and health. He recommended this. It's from Greece. I got this at Whole Foods. You can get it from their website. Ooh, it is next level. And I think this bottle was only 20, 25-ish, totally different from it's better than any extra virgin olive oil I've ever had. But suffice it to say, you need a good extra virgin olive oil and your salt and your pepper. And I'm going to add one more spice that if you've got these three things, you can cook any piece of meat and really roast any produce or steam or whatever. Kosher salt, ground pepper, EVOO, and I don't have this labeled, but this is garlic powder. Garlic powder is the easy, shelf-stable substitute for fresh garlic. Now, I'm going to throw this in while I'm speaking of garlic, because if you ever see this, I want y'all to get this. Trader Joe's, I think, is where I got this, but this is Dorot Gardens, D-O-R-O-T. I'm going to turn it over, my YouTube friends. You can see these are cubes of frozen crushed garlic. So they're fresh frozen. There's no preservatives. They're vegan. They're gluten-free. They're fabulous. 1 cube of these, you just pop it out of the little sleeve. 1 cube is equal to 1 clove of garlic. Love, love, love this. And the only other one I've ever found, and I've got it right here, and you can see I've used it, is their crushed ginger. I will say ginger is the biggest pain in the world. It's like that knotty root. You have to peel it. It's tough. It's stringy. I do anything to avoid having to grate fresh ginger. So I always get this when I can find it. So those are those spices that I wanted to share. Now we're going to move right along. I'm not going to probably be that long because, as I said, I'm boiling this down to must-haves. Along with, I'm going to leave my EVOO here because I'm going to bring in its companion. You can make any salad if you've got good extra virgin olive oil and red wine vinegar. Now, there are multiple vinegars, fabulous vinegars of all ranges, sweet, dessert vinegars. But if you have to pick one, in my opinion, red wine is the least expensive, and it's, to me, the most versatile for cooking. I have a salad that is on my Instagram because it's my friend's recipe, but it's the Marie Marino salad. And it's the most simple salad, but the dressing is basically extra virgin olive oil, red wine vinegar, and I haven't brought it out because it's not garlic powder. It is garlic salt. These 3 shelf stable are excellent to have on hand for dressings and anything that you might need oil and vinegar. Another thing, another fat that I think is pretty necessary, and I even would choose this over butter for seasoning purposes. This is from Trader Joe's. You can get it at the grocery. This is clarified butter, known as ghee. Now, all it is, I'll show you, and you can see that it's moving around a little. It's clarified butter, just the milk solids are removed. This is great, just melted to dip crab or lobster or shrimp, and it's great to pour over steamed veggies and just to add a richness that would be like butter, but it's a whole lot easier, and it's just shelf stable, easy within easy reach. Okay, here are some that I consider the next level essential. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Let me start with these right here. If you keep chili powder, just a good medium to dark chili powder, and cumin, you can whip up tacos. You can make spaghetti. Now, I'm going to throw this one in because this is a good all-purpose. You're going to want this in your spaghetti. Italian seasoning. Guys, buy it and keep it. It'll keep up to a year fresh. Most of it will. And you have spaghetti with all your other basic seasonings at the ready. And chili powder also. Of course, you make chili. I put chili powder in my spaghetti. It adds color, little depth. So I would recommend that you all keep chili powder, cumin, and Italian seasoning. Okay. Now, I keep taco seasoning, even though if you had these, you could make your own. Taco seasoning is something I just reach for a lot because I buy ground turkey all the time. We make tacos, taco salad meat all the time. Look at this big jar that it's in. Love pre-made taco seasoning just because it's so easy. And I have found that Costco has a great price on the big container. So it's a given. Okay. Lemon pepper. I believe I got this at Costco. It's Kinder's. And guys, it is so fresh. Like if you whiff it, it's like you're sniffing a lemon and like freshly ground pepper. It's the best lemon pepper I've ever had. Now, this you could use if you wanted to make just season chicken breast. It's great to season fish with EVOO, salt and pepper, because lemon brings out the best in any seafood. I use this in tuna salad. I make tuna salad a lot. So lemon pepper also is a good substitute for seasoning if you need fresh lemon for something and you're out. So consider making lemon pepper one of your essentials. I do not have this labeled. I've already shown you my garlic powder, and this is garlic salt. Now, I'm going to tell you, I keep both because they function a little bit differently. Garlic powder is going to be the dried form of garlic. So it's going to impart the flavor, but it's not going to add saltiness. Garlic salt is going to be salt with the garlic flavor. I use this garlic salt for bread that I want to toast, like cowboy toast or Italian bread with butter. This gives a salty, garlicky flavor that is fabulous, but you don't want to use this in everything. So when you just want the garlic flavor, you have the garlic powder. So I keep both of those. All right, crushed red pepper. This really goes in more or can help more dishes than you can imagine. We're all pretty familiar with sprinkling this on pizza because when you go to Domino's, you've got the packets of crushed red pepper. This is great to toss a pinch into almost any savory soup, stew, or dish. It just imparts a little bit of heat that really takes the dish to a new level. All right. I like to keep, now Italian seasoning would suffice, but basil is something that it will up level almost any Italian dish, and I never have fresh basil on hand. When I do have fresh basil on hand, then I usually don't have ingredients to make anything like the mozzarella or whatever else. So I'm usually just reaching for this fresh basil, but this is a good one to keep on hand. Now, everything but the bagel, everybody knows how this makes eggs next level. If I bought it for the main reason I buy everything but the bagel is it makes eggs so delicious. So I keep this. So good. And guys, you can get this seasoning that's not called everything but the bagel, just under different brands. So that is a great kick up a notch egg seasoning that I love. Now, I'm going to finish with these dry ones. Okay, these are dried snipped chives. Okay, YouTube friends, look at those. These are so good on loaded baked potatoes or a cauliflower mash or a baked potato casserole, Boursin potato gratin, anything on which you would put like chives. Now, I'm going to tell you, they smell wonderful. They just smell like onion. These also add a lovely color. They just make the dish better. It's so funny. My friend Marie, I was eating at her home one night. Zane and I were eating with them. And she said, Jamie, I'll never be without chives. They just make everything taste better and look better if it calls for onion. So chives. Cinnamon is definitely something we probably all keep because it's a very versatile spice. I like to keep cinnamon sugar, and let me tell you why. If you want a quick cinnamon toast, or you have a bundt cake that like a yellow bundt cake, and you want to add some cinnamon flavor while it's hot, you can just sprinkle it. I don't want to have to go get the sugar and get the cinnamon. Plus, cinnamon is very, very strong. You have to be judicious with how you measure it. Cinnamon sugar is just easy and safe if you want a sweet cinnamon. You can even put this in coffee if you want a sweet cinnamon touch to a beverage or a dish. Guys, you can get these online. That's where I get them because I used to be able to find them in some local stores, but I can't anymore. For those of you who are salt-free, I hope you know about this. If not, I'm happy to share this. This will change your life. Jack's Spices. My social media angel that I just could not love anymore, Finley, she told me about these seasonings because this is a family business. They are on the outskirts of Birmingham. And she told me about the family, why this started. There were some health conditions that necessitated them to go salt-free. So they decided to create their own salt-free spices. And she knew the family because she taught their little girl in dance. Guys, this is next level seasoning. They have a wide array. It's very reasonably priced. And Finley told me this, and I will second this. If you only could get one or two, her favorite, and I think mine too, is the Italian. Guys, look how pretty that is. It's got a good, rich red color, so it imparts color and flavor. I'm going to read what's in this Italian seasoning. No salt in any Dax spices, dehydrated garlic, spices. They can't tell everything. Black pepper, paprika, and dehydrated onion. Guys, if you're salt free, you've got to buy Dax. I will tell you another one that I love is their super Greek, because if you want to make a Greek slaw or salad, this is wonderful with like some red wine vinegar and some EVOO. Their Greek is great. And they also have Taco Night, Knight. It is excellent. Even if you want to use half regular taco seasoning that is laden with salt, and then the other half with Taco Night Dax salt-free, you don't have to go all salt-free, but I use this a lot to minimize how much salt seasonings I use. Okay, there's 3 more things I'm going to share. And one is, I get this at Costco. You can get this probably Whole Foods, Sprouts, maybe your grocery, but this is Chosen Foods 100% pure avocado oil spray. It is expeller pressed and naturally refined. This is wonderful, and I want to tell you how I use it most often. When you've got delicate fillets of fish, or you have a gratin or a casserole where you put the butter and the cornflakes or whatever, this is wonderful to spray if while baking some of that dries out, or if you're roasting vegetables and you turn them and they're getting dry, you can just spritz them with this avocado oil. Fish, I pat my fish really, really dry before I put it in the skillet with heated EVOO. Then I spray it with this Chosen. It's so, so good because you have a very unique way of getting it on the food. You don't have to drizzle it. You can spray so there's more even coverage. Okay, guys, to me, if you've got to choose one liquid seasoning, savory seasoning, you cannot be without Worcestershire. Now, I am a brand snob on this. I only buy Land Parents. It's just the way it is. I'm sure there are other brands that are great, but you can drizzle it on any piece of beef, pork. You can make a pork tenderloin without having to mix a lot of things. This is just, it's got a savory umami flavor that it will add to. And I also drizzle this in like vegetable soups, hamburger soup. It just, my Brunswick stew, always use Worcestershire. And if you just ever wondered, let me just read to you what is in Worcestershire. First ingredient is distilled white vinegar. So that's that tangy acid. This is an acid, okay? Molasses, sugar, water, salt, onions, anchovies. You can't taste them. Garlic, cloves. So that's bringing in a very complex balance. Garlic and then cloves, tamarind extract, natural flavorings, and chili pepper extract. So I also put this in spaghetti. Guys, this is a must for me. Got one more dry spice recommendation. And you can go to any store, your favorite grocery, Fresh Market. This is a Fresh Market brand, and you can find multiple brands of dry rub. Now, this is a salmon dry rub. You can get a dry rub for anything. Pork dry rub, fish dry rub, salmon dry rub, beef dry rub. If you are going to be making something like salmon or baby back ribs where you want a rub that's going to caramelize, add a lot of color, just grab a rub and then you don't have to worry about anything else. You've got it covered. I highly recommend Williams-Sonoma Smokehouse Rub and Nashville Hot Chicken Rub. Phenomenal. Okay, last one. I got this at Costco. I know you can get this at other places because I've seen it. But this is Nona Pia's balsamic glaze. And you can see it's like a sweet Italian woman holding a basket of grapes. Don't pass this by, y'all. And if you can, get this brand, Nona Pia's. And let me tell you why. It is a true reduction. Look, it pours almost like molasses. So it's been reduced. And let me tell you, there's no added thickeners. So the ingredients are very few. This is a very natural seasoning. It's balsamic vinegar of Modena, Italy, granulated non-GMO cane sugar. That's it. The balsamic from Italy and the cane sugar are put together and they form a reduction. My favorite way to use this is with Brussels sprouts, thinly sliced, roasted with EVOO, salt and pepper, and then finished with this balsamic reduction. It takes them, it's like something you would get at a restaurant. And they have different recipes here. Here, they've drizzled it just over a nice leafy green with, looks like goat cheese and strawberries. You can drizzle it over salad. Then this looks like avocado toast. Multiple ways to use this reduction. All right, guys, that is all that I have. I hope that this was helpful. I know I didn't address all the things you could have to season food, but I think if you've got these, you're good to go. If y'all have any questions about anything, particularly stocking your kitchen or your pantry, please send them my way. I would love to be able to specifically address your questions or concerns. So if you want to get in touch, always feel free to email me, jamie@familysavvy.com. I'm so grateful to all of you for listening and following. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the SavvyCast. If you'll take the time to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, that would mean so much. As always, thank you for listening and have a blessed day.